The continued war against a 79-year-old infectious disease doctor who has worked for 6 presidents continues. I'm talking about Dr. Anthony Fauci, continues to be the target of protesters. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, a chant of "Fire Fauci" broke out at one of these reopen protests. Here's the audio and video reminder of that. Well, it's getting even worse. They're going from "Fire Fauci" now to signs that say "Hang Fauci, hang Fauci." Those have started to pop up at protests. Here's one from a Long Island, New York protest over the weekend, which says, "Hang Fauci, hang Gates, open up all our states." Very poetic, very nice rhyming, but completely horrifying. Hang Gates, of course, refers to Bill Gates, who's donating huge sums of his own money to find a vaccine. He's being regularly attacked for it. He's at the center of multiple conspiracy theories, arguing that his intentions are actually nefarious. Will there actually be any accountability for the conspiracy theorists that have spent months spreading this nonsense? Because this is a complete backslide from just basic Enlightenment values. Now, I want to be careful because some of these enlightened centrists and so-called classical liberals, they love to fetishize talking about Enlightenment values. And then they argue wildly that the left on Twitter is falling back from Enlightenment values by trying to do things to prevent hate speech or whatever. We don't do that here, okay? I don't know the last time I mentioned Enlightenment values. This is not something I've discussed that much before. But the anti-science cesspool that has become the coronavirus protests, it actually is a fight against basic Enlightenment values of rationalist philosophy, a respect of science, not fetishizing science, just a respect for the scientific process and what it provides us, respect of the law, importantly. So much of what we now take for granted. Consider that the terrorists don't have to attack us anymore. Why would they? We are destroying ourselves from the inside as this battle has been created between those who understand and respect the scientific process and who understand what is an expert. This is not about phony experts, but actually the difference between Dr. Anthony Fauci and some guy on the internet with a blog, right? And those who peddle conspiracies and mass gather believe that they know better than actual doctors. This is not the crisis of expertise, which is something I've not been shy about covering. Imagine the same people rightly criticizing the signs and the chants of death to America elsewhere in the world. They are the same ones who chant "Fire Fauci" and hold up signs that say "Hang Fauci." We're doing the job of the terrorists for them. I would even go further when it comes to the country being united against the common enemy. After 9/11, Americans were by and large briefly united, very united. It didn't last that long because George W. Bush turned 9/11 into a war against Iraq, which had nothing to do with 9/11 at all. But there was a period there, the end of 2001, when George W. Bush went to the rubble at Ground Zero. His approval rating spiked. I think it was 86 or even 90% in late 2001. And the country was united. This could have happened with coronavirus. I've said it before. If on March 5th, Trump makes an FDR-like speech, I'm not endorsing everything FDR did, okay? So before you even start sending me messages about that, but an FDR-like speech where he speaks to the nation and says, we have difficult times ahead. We do. The economics are going to be tough for a little while, but we must come together. We need stay at home from 50 governors for 60 days. You know, maybe at the time it would have been 30, and then it ends up getting extended for 30. We're going to come out on the other side. We are going to come out with few deaths. We will start to reopen and rebuild. That ship sailed, but with it also sailed the administration may be presiding over a rational reaction. Instead, we've seen Donald Trump sort of coyly support the protesters, drawing a line in the sand, separating his view from that of the scientists, criticizing everybody under the sun about his own mishandling, from Obama to governors to Democrats, whoever else, while lying about testing and everything else. This doesn't bode well for our future. Other countries are realizing it. I told you that their laughter has mostly turned to horror and pity at this point, and I don't know how we dig out of it, my friends. I really don't. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.